Banner Alalia TV, where you learn to listen to your intuition and create a life that you love. There are no gurus here because you are your own guru. I'm simply here to remind you to pay attention to the guru inside of you. Unsure if you have a guru inside you? Trust me, you do, because everyone does. We all do. And when you learn to listen, that is when the magic happens in your life. Have you ever tried to break the be perfect mold? There's this thing called the bystander effect. If you're unfamiliar, there are some great social experiment videos out there online. But in essence, it's when people in huge numbers ignore someone who's in distress. They will literally walk past and think someone else will deal with that, somebody else will help them. And once one person helps them, others will flock to join. Part of the reason people will be a bystander is fear. This psychological phenomenon comes from being scared, basically, to make a mistake, or you maybe feel underqualified. Kind of like stage fright, but for life. Perfectionism, whilst often praised as a symbol of high standards and ambition, can cast a rather overwhelming shadow on your mental well-being. Have you ever asked yourself, is perfectionism a mental problem? When I look at social media, I sometimes wonder, when the pursuit of flawlessness takes the driver's seat, you may find yourself in an exhausting chase that often leaves you feeling inadequate, dissatisfied, or just anxious. Think of it like trying to catch a cloud, an ethereal, ever-shifting form that forever is out of reach. Aiming for excellence is one thing, but when the drive for perfectionism begins to chip away at your happiness, your self-esteem, and even your relationships, it's essential to pause and reassess. Perfectionism in its excessive form can lead to mental health challenges like anxiety, depression, and obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Do you ever notice yourself falling into the trap of your own bystander effect? Basically avoiding starting a task because you have no time or energy to do it perfectly. Waiting for the ideal moment can sometimes mean that you're literally sat there waiting forever. This fear of making a mistake is such a huge thing to address that when teaching first aid, there's even a mantra that helps people overcome it. Adequate care given is better than perfect care withheld. This mantra can also be of great help in your everyday life. Adequate care given is better than perfect care withheld translates into the idea that by doing something, anything, you're going to be in a better position than if you did nothing at all. It's better to take a leap, even if you stumble a little bit. Ever thought about the word responsibility? Let's have a play with it. Response-ability. It's all about stepping up, taking action, no matter how small or imperfect. The key here is to be able to respond to life's curveballs and embrace the idea of failing forward. As the wonderful Stephen McCraney once said, the master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. What are some of the other traits of perfectionism? Here are a few that may resonate with you. While some of these attributes may initially seem positive, even desirable, it's the extreme pursuit and subsequent fallout that's the signal that's a problem. 1. High standards. 2. Fear of failure. 3. Preoccupation with flaws. 4. Difficulty delegating. 5. Constant self-criticism. If you can relate to any of those and want to learn more about how to remove the mental blocks around critical thinking, check out my blog, Fight Gently. Understanding these traits is the first step in managing your perfectionism. Rather than simply suppressing them, it's important for you to recognise when they're taking an unhealthy turn. You might have this false idea that failure is a marker of self-worth. I know I used to have it. Even a private failure can sometimes feel discouraging and shameful. You might even tell yourself nasty stories about maybe not being good enough. Often this obsession over failure can stem from a belief adopted early on in your life and over time has become twisted in your body, causing what I like to call a thought knot or knots that can become a chronic pain. Addressing these mental blocks is vital, but also releasing your fascia goes hand in hand because happy fascia will make it easy to form new habits. To learn more about fascia release, check out my series Fascia and Feelings on Instagram and YouTube. The fact is, it's rarely through pure talent that people succeed. It's through determination, drive, and making the conscious choices to embrace failure as a necessary step to the path to success. Again, and again, and again. You can see where I'm going with this. And remember, trust your instincts, follow your intuition because the world needs your voice and the magic that you bring to us all. Jump on my mailing list to stay reminded and connected with your intuition, plus the special things that I really do only share in email. I look forward to chatting with you next time on Savannah Malalia TV. Take care and talk soon. Have you ever asked yourself, is perfectionism, I think it definitely has been for me in the past. I've been such a perfectionist. It's been crazy. Macrane, I missed the R, sorry. Macraney, I missed the IE at the end. 4, difficulty delegating. Oh my God. Just difficulty. You might have this false idea that fuck's sake, failure. I don't know why fear keeps coming out of my mouth. It's not even in the sentence. I don't even know where it's coming from.